And welcome to the first episode of Buds and Suds, a working title.
I still don't agree with that.
Well, we'll work on it. So I'm Mike, owner of Soap Passion and a soap maker. And this is...
Deacon, neighbor and friend.
and beer drinker. And the reason that we are talking about beer and soap today is because they go great together. And we have an event coming up on Friday, December 1st, and Saturday, December 2nd. Friday, it's from 4:30 to 9, and Saturday, it's from 1 to 9. It's called the Chris Kindle Market, and it's going to be at the Westallion Farmers Market. And we are going to be launching a grapefruit beer. We used Westallion Brewing Company's Grapefruit IPA, brewed it, cooked it, and then used that instead of distilled water to make a awesome, great lathering bar. So, do you want to try the beer first, and then we'll go back into the soap?
Of course.
All right.
You might want to tip your glass.
Thank you.
It's a little flat.
It was opened last week, so.
Oh, there you go.
So typically what I look for when we're dealing with beer or any alcohol in soap is the aroma. But it's also nice to use a great tasting beer as well, because then you can also have some yourself.
It's the Galloping Gourmet.
Right? Yeah, sure. Well, yeah.
One for the recipe and a slug for the chef.
So this, to me, has a great nose of grapefruit and hops.
Yeah, I mean, I smell way more grapefruit than hops.
Yeah. So, and the nice thing as far as this goes is when I'm soaping with beer or alcohol in general, using places that take natural flavors. So let's say when they're working with a grapefruit, they're actually throwing real grapefruits in there instead of an actual artificial flavor. It makes the soaps turns out way better. So that's why we're very particular, or I'm very particular as far as which brewery we're using and which beer as well. So do you want to talk about beer notes, that sort of thing?
It's interesting because it smells so strongly of the grapefruit, but the grapefruit is not overpowering when you drink it.
Right, because I like fruity drinks in general.
Oh, I hate fruity beer.
And you're the opposite. So
too often I've had things that tasted like half beer, half Kool-Aid. And this is actually really good. I was a little nervous.
Right. Because it really is. I mean, when you smell right out of the growler or, out of your glass, I mean, it is very in-your-face grapefruit.
Yeah. But it blends in really well.
So now what do you think of the scent, how it stays in the soap?
The soap? Oh, sure. I mean, it definitely smells very grapefruity. And you do get a little bit of the hops, which I think is probably because of the IPA.
Right.
No, it's a good soap.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, sorry, I said take another whiff. When you're dealing with citrus and soap, it doesn't tend to stick in the soap for very long. A lot of times you're looking at just a few months, and if you have the soap still around, it is gone. The scent. The nice thing is when you have for whatever reason, using a beer that is citrusy, that note tends to stick better in the soap itself. So that's why we also do like an orange one that will be for another episode. That it sticks around a lot, and with the grapefruit, this is why we do it. The other reason too why Soap Passion in general and why I do a lot of things with local breweries is we want to keep things as local as possible. Especially since today is actually Small Business Saturday, I thought it would be an awesome way to start the first episode because we really believe support local, buy local as a business model.
Is there a long history of using beer in soap?
So, that I actually don't know. A lot of times when I first started doing beer soap, you saw, like, let's say just one of the major corporations, one of theirs, and it wasn't scented a lot of times. For me, I like to find soaps that have a good, beers that have a good nose, and see if that translates into the soap making, so that I can use less fragrance oil in the actual soap itself. Because a lot of the notes that we use for the beer soaps are fragrance oils rather than essential oils, because you don't typically find things like, let's say, a cherry or raspberry essential oil that sticks really well in soaps. But that way I can use less of the fragrance oil in it, because they typically translate so well. And one of the other reasons too is with beer soap, the lather. I mean, that's why it got really popular for a long time, is sugar content helps with lather. You can use oils that are, people would say better for the skin, have better properties. And you can use things like less castor oil that really only add in suds. Because basically every oil that you put in, there's, here's a list of the properties that it can add into soap.
Sure.
And castor oil doesn't really have a lot of properties except a great suds.
Sudsing.
Right, exactly. So you want to obviously jam-pack each bar with as much of these properties as you want, can with the list. Any question? You have not been to Westallion yet, have you?
No.
Okay, so really cool place. They have a nice bar set up. They have some games that are there as well. It's in West Dallas. It's, from my understanding, the first brewery in West Dallas, if not for a long time. And they do a lot for local charities. If you go to their Facebook page, the Westallion Brewing Company, it's, we're doing this for this charity, which I love to see. We love to give back to the community. So that's really cool that, we can utilize their beer into our soap, which just always churns that money back into our community. So, any other
good beer?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. They rotate a lot with their, from my understanding, their fruit beers. So they just had I'm trying to think. I think it was a raspberry one. When I went in to go get that one, this is what they had currently. So I was like, well, I'll do a grapefruit. I'll check it out. Yeah. And I think it worked out great. So there are going to be 40 bars available at this Chris Kindle Market, and that is it for right now until spring. So if you want to support local and cross-promote local, check out the Chris Kindle Market. Anything else that you can add about the beer?
It's tasty.
All right. This is, once again, I'm Mike from Soap Passions. And
I'm Deacon.
And drink up. See you later.